What we have here is a battery. Right here is a battery elimination circuit. This takes the battery voltage and develops 5 volts regulated. I've got that going over to this RC receiver right here. And then I've got a output on channel 5 going to this little board right here. We'll talk about that board in a second. And then I've got 2 addressable LED strips here of 24 LEDs. And they're RGB, red, green, and blue. So they can make lots of different colors by combining them. Red and blue make green. Well, I forget how that actually works. Maybe red and green make blue. I don't know. Anyway, I have put these 2 LED strips in series. I have the input coming in here, going through this strip, and then I continue the signal input and the 5 volts and the ground to this LED strip and ends up here. So I've got 48 LEDs in a string here. 24 and 24. Technically, this one right here is bad in shipping, so I've got 47 in truth. But that's neither here nor there. Now, what's going on here? I'll just unplug this from the channel 5. Let's try to get it up here and show it to you. This is a LED controller board that has Wi-Fi access. This chip right here, I don't know if you can see it, it says Wi-Fi on it. Will it focus? Maybe it will. Anyway, so this is a Wi-Fi chip for Wi-Fi access, and this right down through here, this etch running back and forth here, it looks funny. That's actually a Wi-Fi antenna. Now on this board, there's USB adapter for software upgrades, and there's a bunch of little pins. The pins here are for voltage, ground, and signal. There's 2 different signal ones. There's the signal that comes over from the RC receiver, and then there's the signal that goes into this board down here on D2, pin D2, I think. And the actual signal for the LEDs comes out of this board on pin D4. So the voltage from both of what I have in my hand, red, goes to the battery. The black is ground, goes to both. But the signal in from the receiver goes to D2 over here, and the signal out from D4 goes to the signal in on the LED, and then we have the plus 5 volts on the bottom and ground on the top. And again, this is solid conductor wire, so it's kind of springy. I just have these LEDs strung together, serial, and the reason for the long wire on it is one of these 24 LED strips will go on the front of the rover, one of them will go on the back of the rover. So I needed enough wire in between them for that distance. Now let me plug this stuff back up. So there it is, plugged back up to the receiver. So let's plug in the battery and turn it on. So this little controller will control 500 individually addressable LEDs in a string like this. I've just got 48, but it could be 500. So each individual LED is addressable for color effects too. And you can have different setups. Lots of different setups, let me tell you. And you can have a switch on the RC radio that switches between 1 to 8 different setups. That one's kind of out of sync, but we'll see how these are. This is the way I'm going to put it on the front and the back of the Rover. It will be blue lights in the middle flashing and the red on the outside going back and forth, kind of like a police car. I'm trying to still find a way to keep these construction workers from running over my stuff. So for 2 $5 LED strips and one $30 controller, I'm trying something new. Let me show you how this thing programs though. I set this up on the bench differently. I have put the LEDs kind of in a string like they are, put the receiver over here. Here's the little mud controller board. This is my radio for channel assignments. I hid the battery over here behind, I just set it over there out of the way. And what we're going to look at right now is this is how you program this thing. I'm not going to look at it in depth, but we'll just hit the top of it. You open up a Wi-Fi network on your phone. I happen to be using my computer because my computer has a Wi-Fi card in it. So, and then you go to Mud LED. You connect to that Wi-Fi network. That's that little chip I showed you on the back of that board where it's a Wi-Fi. And then you go to address 192.168.4.1. And when you do, the Mud LED by Mud Dart RC configuration program comes up. You can have up to 8 different setups on a PWM input from an RC receiver. I like to keep it kind of simple. I set up 3. I set up 3 so that one 3-position switch on my radio could switch the particular setup. See, I'm in number 2 now. This blue line went up. I'm going to go up to number 3, and you can see the LEDs on the table. They switch. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to add another one so we can play with this, so I can show you. I'm going to go edit that one. When you come into edit mode, you have 16 zones. When you go into one of these zones, first of all at the top, you have an effect with a drop-down list of chase, chase, scanner, one-way scanner, comet, wipe, solid, flash, double flash, and pulse. As far as LED effects, you can come in here on your phone and tap with your finger, like right here, to set a color. There's red. I like to do this on my computer because I'm completely familiar with this from years of programming. I want 255, 0,0. I want the most red I can get. Hit the tab key. Oh, you have a rainbow effect here. This is the duration. This is the offset. I'm not going to get much into this offset because this isn't a programming video. It's just a familiarization video. We'll play with duration a little bit here. And there's a reverse checkbox. And then there's select LEDs. This board will select LED 1 through 500 individually. I only have 48. Okay, 47. One of them's broke. And if a LED is broke, it just skips over it. As if it wasn't there. Because it's probably broken its addressing anyway. So we come down here and we click Add. Notice the LEDs went out there for a second. So I want to use LED 1 through 3. Oops, I went to 4, didn't I? So 4 little bulbs were lit up there for a second. I'll go back 1. Now there's 3. Okay, I'll change the switch on the radio to kind of slow that down. So this is a chase. Let's do more. Let's do 8. 8 LEDs. Let's look real quick, do a scanner. So that goes back and forth. We'll real quick change the duration from 100 to 10. Tab. That speeds it up. Let's see, what was it? One-way scanner here. That's going left to right. But if I click the reverse button right here, now it's going right to left. All this is pretty intuitive. So basically you come in here, let's take half of this strip. That'd be 12, wouldn't it? Oops, hit 13. Eek. So there's 12 LEDs out of this first strip that I'm programming now, and 12 left. Okay, there's 11 in that one. There's one busted. Again, double flash. Got double flash on the LEDs. Comet. Solid. Okay. Might be great for under a car for mood lighting or whatever they call it. Flash. Of course, you understand. If I put this back to 100, whoa, that's going to be a really slow flash, isn't it? Let's go back to 10 on that. If we go to rainbow, then instead of using the color up there selection, it's going to go through different choices of its color scheme. If rainbow's unselected, then it goes by this color scheme. That's not hard to do, is it? But you can see in here how you could come in, you could create a zone. Oh, by the way, you can add. If I want to add another zone here, I can click add here, and now I want to talk about LED 13 through just 13. Oops, that makes it the same, doesn't it? 18 through 20. See, I picked up 18 through 20 over here. It does the same function as you have set up here on the extra 4 that I just selected. It doesn't work separately. That's why you have to set up a different zone. You can't split LEDs between zones either. So if I wanted to back this up, the starting one up, 1, 2, 3, 4, go back down to 14, and I'd have one LED here not used. Tink, see, that LED's not on. I got my finger on. If I go down to 13, it'll just be as if I selected all of these. Kind of see how that works? If I add another one, I can come over to the second LED strip at LED number 25, 28, let's go 30 through 35. 30 through, I'm just going to type this in, 35, tab. Right over here now you see LEDs 30 through 35. I'm going to remove that one. I'm going to come down into zone 2 here, and I'm going to select LEDs 30 through 35. Okay, got them over there. Saw that for just a second. Now then, for those, I'm going to tell them to flash. No, these are flashing, aren't they? We'll go scanner over there on that. Let's get us a color here. We'll choose this blue. Oops. There we go. So now we've got scanner going on over here on these 5 while I've still got my flashing over here. This is a zone 1. This is a zone 2. That's how I was able to use a different effect and a different color, because it's zone 2. If I choose rainbow, it starts doing a rainbow scanner over there. If I change the duration to 50, of course it will speed up. Not very apparent, is it? Let's change that down to 10. Well, let's change it to 20. Yeah, we see some effect there. That's probably why I had that down to 10 on the other. Just some variants of that. I could come down here and make zone 10 LEDs 37 through 40. There's those. And I could just easily come up here and say that that's a solid color. The thing is black. Basically means they're off. So I could double click here. Let's give them a little greenish hue, kind of like that. They don't look very green to me. So I want to push that over 2 LEDs. So I'm going to make it level LEDs 39 through 42. Now I move that to the right too. Don't really like that color. I could tell you why. It is real representative of color. Yeah, it's not changing much down there. The thing is inside these LEDs is actually 3 LEDs, and to make some of these off colors, it uses a percentage of each red, green, and blue. You can see the numeric value of whatever percentage it has up here. In the old days, that's when people had a corporate color. We knew the RGB value of their corporate color on their corporate logo when we were teaching them how to do word processing. 2 floors of the BB&T building in one corporation, and I got to teach everybody, oh, this is the corporate colors for the logo. You got to make sure this is right, and it's these 3 numbers. Anyway, what's it look like if we change this to 0? Ooh, I don't think it'll do that one very well either. It doesn't even hardly change it. I saw the change, but you can't really see it on the inside. And oops. We'll just turn that blue one on full. 255. Tab. That's as blue as it gets. Rainbow. Duration. Change. I guess you don't do much of a duration change on a solid, do you? We'll do a flash. There we go. This over here, flashing. Got one zone over here split on LEDs. Got a second zone here with a scanner. Got another zone over here with that. I think that pretty much illustrates what's going on here. Just play with it. And I like doing it on my computer rather than my cell phone. My poor old eyes can't see the cell phone too much anymore. That's hopefully the cataract surgery will come along soon. I'll be able to see again. I'm going to shut this back down. Well, now I'm going to go into this one to tell you the truth. I'm going to go down to those zones. Oh, rats. Don't remember which ones they were. 10 was one. Reset that zone. It goes away. Let's hope it was 1 and 2. We'll reset zone 1. It goes away. We'll go to zone 2. Reset zone 2. And it goes away. So, that is a Mud LED controller by Mud Dart RC, and a little bit about how it works now that I've got rid of everything in that fourth mode over there. I'm back to 3 modes. I'm on this switch again where all the way high I'm doing what's set up in this. On the center position of that switch, I'm here doing what's set up on this, and here at the low position I'm doing this. It's set up on that. Let's look at those real quick. There's nothing to them. Real quick, on switch position 3 I've just got a white. Oh, yeah, a wipe. 1 through 47 would be 48. If I had that one LED right here actually worked. It's dead, so it's only 47. So 1 through 47 and a wipe, and I'm doing a rainbow, so that's why the color's changing. That's what that is. Back to the home page. Look at the second one real quick. No complexity to these at all. There it is. It's a scanner. It's a green scanner. 255 of green. So there you are. It's set on a 10 with an offset of 16. I'm going to take that out. I'm really not going to talk about that here. I'll set this to 20. You can see it's slowing down. I'll set it to 40. Slowing down. Set it to 100. Now it's really slow. Seems to be 2 LEDs running through the chain all the way back and forth. Of course, it could just as easily be a scanner, one-way scanner. Regular scanner, back and forth, bounces off the end and goes to the middle, bounces off the end, goes to the middle. Now this bottom position is rather unique. To get this, I set up 3 zones on this strip and then just duplicated that over to this strip. So I've got 6 zones. So zone 1 is full red RGB 25500 and a scanner. A 10 on the flash time. LEDs 1 through 8. LEDs 9 through 16 are blue on a double flash. That's here in the center. And then zone 3 is 17 through 23 LEDs over here. Don't have that 24th one, remember. If one goes out, the logic, there's a microprocessor, microcontroller in every one of these LEDs. These LEDs are actually comprised of an RG, a red, a green, and a blue LED, and a microcontroller inside every one of these white things you see here. And so when one malfunctions, it'll jump over here. So 24 would actually be the first one over here. That's why it's only 1 through 47 takes me out to the end, because I've got a bad one. You can have 2 bad ones in this particular type of LED that I bought, but if third one goes bad, it won't go past that, I think. That's some of the whole thing. And you notice here on this third zone, I've reversed it so that the red on each side of the blue is going the opposite direction. If I unclick this reverse, you see I have those just going the same direction. But I'm going to put that reverse back on. So that's 17 through 23. Zone 4 was just 24 through 31, again on an RGB. Oops. Zone 2 was blue, so it was 0, 0, 255. No red, no green, all of blue. The range for these numbers for each color is 0 to 255. Got a 5-second duration on this. That's what makes it flash so much. And then, of course, 9 through 16, continue along. 9 through 16, this was 17 through 23. It was the red scanner with a reverse on it. So 23, this will be 24 through 31. We're over here. Again, it's a red scanner. Zone 5 is again blue on a double flash. LEDs 32 through 39. Zone 6. Zone 6 is again a red scanner with a reverse 10 duration on LED, 10 flash speed. They call it duration. And that's LEDs 40 through 47. So I hope that sort of introduces you to, again, Mud LED by Mud Dart RC. There you can see the top center, the black piece is the little microcontroller, and then you can see it's sitting on top of one of the 3 LED colors, and then there's 2 more pie-shaped sections in the bottom half that are the other 2 colors that are mixed to make all the colors. And that's how these LEDs work. Each one of these little white things is addressable, has 3 colors in it. Technically it may be 4. That little sliver could be white, true white. And some of these, I don't know what the number is on this, so I can't look up the specific data sheet on this. If you look closely, you can see the little hair-like wires going from that microcontroller out to the surface of those where it's LEDs to control it. But anyway, that's how it all works.